Don't let small problems turn into big bills. Protect your RV investment and stay road ready. Hey everybody, this is Uncle Bernie, and once again I have the pleasure of spending time with Master Certified RV Technician and RVTI Certified Trainer, Keith Marshall. Keith, thanks again for sharing your RV knowledge with us today.
Absolutely, Bernie. I'm happy to talk about this.
Okay, perfect. So there are many important things that we need to know to maintain an RV. Let's point out 5 of the most important ones to consider.
Tire condition is probably going to be right at the top of the list of your safety checks every time you drive or pull your RV. Now, RV tire tread wear tends to be minimal because RVs, let's face it, are parked most of the time. They're parked in a campground or in storage. However, you should check the tires for stress cracks, sometimes called dry rot. And those cracks will appear on the sidewalls of the tires, but sometimes it's in between the treads of the tires. If you see those start to develop, that's a very serious condition. Contact our service department right away and have one of our qualified technicians check it out for you to let you know whether or not you need to purchase new tires.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. Well, next to the tires is something that's pretty important too, the wheel bearings and the brakes and things like that. Tell us what else that you might find in that wheel area.
In the wheel area, while you're checking the air pressure, and by the way, this is a good tool to have, just a simple tire pressure gauge and a way to put air in your tires. Make sure your tire air pressures are set. And while you're doing that, check the torque on the lug nuts. Now, it's not a scientific problem to make sure that your lug nuts are tight every time you stop, but it's a good habit to get into because they do tend to loosen up a little bit as you're driving. There's a lot of sideways torque on trailers. So that's a good idea to check your lug nuts. And the wheel bearings can be serviced. I recommend that you do that at least once every 2 years on a trailer, on any trailer, even if it sits for a long period of time. If you drive it frequently, you may want to consider doing that every year.
Well, that makes a lot of sense, and that's very helpful. So people, please heed the warning. Keith, how about lights and brakes?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point. Every time you hook up your RV to your tow vehicle, you should check your running lights and brakes. To do that, you just plug in your 7-way cord and run through the routine. The left turn, right turn, brakes, and don't forget your running lights. Also, the brake signal from your brake controller. It's real simple to test that to make sure it works. Be sure that you're in a safe place to go forward and back if you need to, but engage the manual lever on your brake control and put it in a forward gear and carefully let your foot off the foot brake. It should roll about a foot or so, and then the brakes on the trailer should stop the rig.
Well, that's good advice for sure. Well, so far that's been really helpful. It's probably time we start talking about roofs, windows, and slide outs.
Yeah, leaks is a huge issue for RVs. You should identify any leak as soon as possible. When you're resealing leaks, be sure to use products that are designed for RVs, like all of the products that we have here in our store at Campers Inn RV. Touch-up seal any areas that look suspicious, where streaks of dirt or dark spots appear. Be sure to clean the area first though, and then apply a suitable amount of sealant and make sure that it's suitable for the surface that you're applying it to. For instance, this tube of lap sealant here is not suitable for a sidewall, a fiberglass sidewall. However, this works real well on rubber roofs. The other way around, silicone type sealant will not work on a rubber roof. So be sure that you match the sealant according to the surface that you're applying it to. By the time you notice a leak on the inside of the coach, there's already a lot of structural damage to your coach. That's why it's important to go outside and look for those leaks before it gets that far.
Well, another water issue can be the plumbing systems, right? Keith and I did a video about, making sure we're sanitizing the tanks. Can you tell us a little bit about the importance of doing that and what the interval might be?
Well, there are health concerns if you leave a water system unattended for a long period of time. And again, these things are in storage for long periods of time sometimes. If there's water in your freshwater tank, it'll become stagnant, and that's certainly not something that you want to drink. So sanitizing is extremely important, and do that every time you bring the trailer out of storage. If you do this often, make sure you do it before it goes into storage as well.
Yeah, you can find that video on YouTube playlist RV maintenance, just so you know, and that's at Campers in RV. Keith, thank you so much for these wonderful RV maintenance tips. There are more that we need to know, I'm sure, so we're going to keep bringing that information to people as it comes available. And remember to refer to your RV owner's manual for specific maintenance recommendations and intervals. Adjust the checklist based on your RV's make and model and specific recommendations provided by the manufacturer. Regular maintenance will contribute to the longevity and reliability of your RV. And just so you know, we're going to be attaching checklists and like a schedule that people can use for their RV maintenance, whether it be a motorhome or towable.
Or if you want one, even after you have an RV, just contact our service department and they'll provide one for you.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Keith. I can't wait to get the next video and get all the information out to these folks.
Fun times, Bernie. Thanks.
Schedule your RV service at one of our 40+ dealerships nationwide. Click the link below to book your appointment today.